Live. We do have hello everyone. I know no one's here, but you'll get the memo. You'll come in. When I set it up the first time, it would not work. It just spun and spun and spun. I had to log out, come back in, and start a new show. So that's where we're at. So since we're doing that, I'm going to say the pledge. And after I say the pledge, I'm going to play the music. I got to get the music ready. And then good to see Janet and Jeffrey and Ian. Guys, you guys are just coming on. I was on earlier. It just spun and spun and spun. We had no chat. So I went out. I came back in, and now it looks like we're ready to go. So as I was saying, I'm going to say the pledge. I'm going to go over here and get the music so we can play the music. But as I'm waiting to do that, I want to talk to the kids. Each and every one of you is Jimmy, Patriot 11, Patriot Super Gymnast, Patriot 7, Patriot Small Hank. He got his orange belt the other day, so I'm very, very proud of him. Patriot Little Monkey, Little Addison, and Patriot Kira, Patriot Little Leona, and Laylan, all the children, Karate Kid and Wyatt Earp, the Princes and Hunter, Boogie, Bugs, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo, John's grandkids. And I think I got them all, guys. Just wanted to let you guys know, look, there's some stuff going around. And I know, Jimmy, you're on a lot and you're 11 years old, and I'd rather see you go and start being a kid a little more than constantly posting things. You do put some good things up, but dude, the other day you was on at 2:30 in the morning. You don't need to be on at 2:30 in the morning doing stuff that Patriot older ones are going to do. You are a true Patriot. We're looking for the beds. We're looking for a lot of answers. And I believe to all the kids, we're about to get them. Now, you guys know my love for you kids. I believe you're the foundation of what we're building here, what we're going to accomplish here. I believe you guys are the foundation that is going to take this to the next level. So with that being said, we love each and every one of you. This show is not made for you children. You can watch it under the discrepancy of your parents, legal guardians, or grandparents, whoever gives you permission, and you absolutely have permission. Every now and then I slip and I might say something I shouldn't. Rarely do I do it anymore. Sometimes I do it on purpose because I'm just in that kind of mood on that particular moment. So I do have the song pulled up here, kids and everyone. So I'm going to go ahead, get it lined up. Then I'm going to say the pledge. I'm going to come back, play the song, and then we're going to move forward. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again. Just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt as love is land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American.
Really?
At least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country, and I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Is that? Yes, God bless the USA, and I am proud to be an American. Where yes, we are free. No matter, we get frustrated, guys. We all do. And there's some days we'll say things and that, but it's good to see Myrna here tonight and Jeffrey, Golden Arrow. You know, Ron's here, Gary, Papa G, Cindy's here. Good to see you here, Cindy. Yes, we all get frustrated. And where, you know, guys, we have some things. We have some things to discuss here. And a lot of them, in my mind, is me and Ron were just discussing. And Ron don't get aggravated too often. He lets me do that. He lets me be the one that says the things. I think so later on he can come back and say, well, you're the one that said it. But he did look at me tonight and he says, you know, what's really ripping him is the prices. Because we got talking. He looked at me and he says, so did you buy any eggs when you went shopping yesterday? I said, no, I will not pay over $6 a dozen for eggs. I won't even pay $6 for eggs. And I got talking to him and I got saying, you know, Ron, it used to be what you have for breakfast. And I'm not a breakfast eater, guys. You know, when I was young, I used to like shredded wheat and some other cereal. But I've never been a bacon and eggs to me is Friday night with some of Mom's pancakes. We had a breakfast supper a lot of times on Friday night. But as Ron said, breakfast was just what I said too, and he said it. It was cereal. But the thing is, think about it. Cindy and Myrna, Gary, Janet, I want you guys to think about what I'm going to say here. It's gotten to the point that if you want bacon and eggs for breakfast, it's almost easier and cheaper. It probably is cheaper that you can go out and buy and have bacon and fried chicken for breakfast. It's cheaper. You can get chicken for sometimes $1.99 a pound. Aldi's, the king of the cheap stores for food. $6.99 for a dozen eggs. And that's if you got the one eggs, the cheap eggs, because they had some other ones there that you could pay $8.99. Guys, I used to work not once, but twice. I worked for a guy who run chicken houses. I didn't get paid money. I got all the eggs I wanted. Some people would say, well, that's stupid. No, it's not, because my mom, she was a better entrepreneur than me, because my mom would take these eggs and she would sell them to the aunts, the uncles, the nieces, the nephews, the cousins. And we would sell 40 and 50 dozen eggs a week to family. And we'd sell them for a quarter, maybe 35 cents a dozen. In the store, they was 50 cents. So people were happy. They were getting fresh eggs that they knew were good for half the price. Now, you guys might look at me, but the ones that are my age, I know if Diane with two N's was here, she would understand it because she's, almost my age. But $12.50 a week was a lot of money back then. $50 a month. It was a lot of money. But we didn't have the crap that we got now. We didn't have the stupidity when we went to a store. They took care of you. They had a smile on their face and said, "You come back, would you please?" Now it's, "I'm only making $15 an hour. Why should I take care of you?" I went into a store the other day and I said, "These are on sale 5 for $5. Would you check them when they ring up and let me know?" He rings them up. He says, "Yeah, they rang up. 5 for $5. I said, I looked at him and I go, when I got my receipt, I said, "No, they didn't." They didn't. They rang up $1.25 a piece, which is $6.25. You owe me $1.25. You're really going to make me open my drawer for $1.25, they say, he says. And the lady behind me says, "Well, if he's not, he can move out of the way and you can give me his $1.25, because I damn well are going to make you open that drawer to get it, or you get your manager up here because you probably haven't been trained to know how to open the drawer without making a sale." And it was the truth. They literally had to call the manager. The manager says, "For $1.25, Ralph?" And I said, "It's not the $1.25. I told the guy and he lied to me." And he goes, "What?" I said, "He lied to me. He said they rang up 5 for $5. The lady behind said, and he's not lying. He is telling the truth. And if he don't want that $1.25, I felt so bad when I got my money back. I give the lady behind me the $1.25. She fought for me. And that's how we are as Americans. We need to fight for each other. Can you believe the stupid Dems, the stupid black hats? Can you believe how stupid they are that they're getting mad because we're cutting taxes? Can you believe it? They're mad. They're ready to go. I seen that Irma, wherever her name is, that ugly. Oh, that lady's so ugly. She got to sneak up on a glass of water just to hope that there's a drop or two in there that don't run from her still. Oh my goodness, that lady. She gives ugly a whole new wardrobe. And then we got, these other ones, this channel that they think they can say whatever they want. Well, ask Carrie Underwood if they can say whatever they want. Oh, they're crying like they're in a lot of trouble. But it's not just Carrie Underwood, because there's a lot more following. These people, they're ridiculous. But what can you expect from people talking on a show like that? They've been allowed to make up anything they want to make up for years, and they continue to do it. We finally have a president that is doing something. But as Ron said, we're coming up on almost a month that he's been in office. And yes, it's great that no man can go in the shower and the locker room with a woman and compete in sports against a woman. I love that. I tell you, if a man would go in the locker room with my granddaughters and try to take a shower with them, oh, I'm telling you what, I told the joke about the dentist. They would need a real dentist. I'm happy he's doing that. I'm happy that every time we turn around, he's telling Social Security, "You're going to get a nice raise." I mean, there was a beautiful video out about that the other day. Margaret, a Savior, sent it to me. Oh, it sounds so great. Guess what? I checked my thing today. Checked it Sunday. There was no extra money. I got paid today. I checked it. It was still the same regular little old amount. I'm tired of getting made promises. I said something to someone one day about, well, he's making promises about giving us this and giving us that. He says, "Ralph, you got to calm down, buddy. If he's actually coming out and telling you he's going to do it, he's not, because the other side would have a chance to react. React to what? He's the president of the United States of America. If he wants to give us a raise, he can give us a raise. And I'm not, and I don't mean to sit here and sound greedy as a senior citizen.
I am.
But I'd like to see everybody get a little bit of something. That's why I've always said this R&R money. And I do want to talk about this R&R money. Because I found out something the other day that really made me feel good, if it's true. See, I just want one time them come and say that we're going to do something. And they do it, okay? But now they're saying, if you're a newborn baby, you may only be 2 months old. They hadn't taken down the bad people yet. So they were still taking your certificates. The way I understand it now, any children born now, they've got that stopped. But I'm thinking, I got a 10-year-old granddaughter. 10 years they've been doing this to her. A 9-year-old grandson. A 7-year-old grandson is going to be 8 real soon. A 4 and a 2. And they're going to get accounts, R&R accounts, the same way as we do. But they can't touch them until they're 21, unless they have a very bad sickness and they need the money for that, or they decide they don't want to live with mom and dad anymore. They want to get married, they want to move out, and they want to do something. But let me ask you this, kids. Why would you do that? And I ask this humbly because, see, I was talking to a little girl today who at one time was my granddaughter. I made a lot of promises to this little girl. It come to find when my ex-wife tricked me into babysitting a little baby one day, she took a DNA and found out that it wasn't my son's. I was okay. If it's not, it's not. But I made promises to this little girl that I would be there for her. And I have stayed in contact with her whole life. And when all this happens, believe me, this little girl is going to be taken care of. But she's contacted me today and she says, my mom says how you feel about me. And I said, yes. And she says, well, I wanted to be the one that tells you this because I don't want you to get upset. But in a month, I'm moving out from mom and my stepdad in with my boyfriend. And I said, okay, congratulations. And she come back and she says, not the reply I was thinking I would get from you, because I know your feelings about that. And I said, look, you waited till you was 21 years old. You're old enough to make your own decisions now. And if you love him that much, hey, both of my kids moved in with the ones they ended up marrying. They've got good marriages. I said, that wasn't for me. And guys, to show you how I did not believe in living with a woman, the woman that I ended up marrying, so I'm not going to make a wisecrack there, but the woman I ended up marrying, I bought the house that we live in 1982 in July. We didn't get married until April of 83. She lived in a house. I lived with my mom and dad and Ron. I slept in a bunk bed in a room above Ron. I could have went down there and shared a room with her for them 10 months or whatever it was. But I was raised, men and women didn't move in together until they were married. The first night, I spent one night in that house all night. And that was March 22nd, 18 days before we got married. And I didn't do it out of disrespect for her mother. I did it because March 22nd of 1983 is the day her mom passed away. So I did it to be there for support for her. We sat on the couch all night long. She cried most of the night, which I never could figure out why, because she didn't get along with her mom. She wanted to make me feel bad, and that wasn't going to happen because I didn't get along with her.
I did.
Ron got along great with her. I really think if Ron would have started going with the girl I ended up marrying, Happy Days would have been here again. But when you talk about Happy Days, I can't say that. There's kids on the show. But anyway, my point is, guys, I'm trying to make here, we are on the verge of total explosion. You look anywhere, and it's all the same. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard, and I'm sure you have. Myrna, I'm sure you're up on this. Janet. Hi, Jerry. Sean. Susie Q's on.
Yeah, I said hello to her.
Jason Bender.
I had to put my phone down. I was cramping. And
That's right, Jason. There's no sense to rush into it. I wish I would have waited another 40 years to get married. I say that, but truthfully, I went through a terrible marriage, guys. I've told you about it before, and I'm not going to go into detail, but it was a terrible marriage. But I got a son, I got a daughter, and I have 5 grandkids, and nothing could replace them. So you take the good with the bad.
then you have the facts of life.
Yeah, and Ron says, then you have the facts of life. The facts. But no, tonight, after midnight, this is what I'm hearing. You guys can talk about this in chat if you want, if you've heard it. But after midnight tonight, you can't get on an airplane. They're not going anywhere. They're grounding them all. Supposedly, we're going into darkness. And a lot of things is shutting down tonight. And I keep thinking, okay, you can shut the airport down. They're doing major things with schools. You can do all of this stuff, but guys, they've got to do that. That emergency broadcast. They have to let the people know what's going. You're going to scare the living. Is it fair? Now, if they're shutting airlines down after midnight tonight, nobody in, nobody out, why wasn't this let to be known a week ago or 2 weeks ago that this was going to happen? Do you really think people want to spend the next 10 days of darkness in an airport? But that's okay because the military is going to be there to help them. You're talking kids anywhere from newborn babies to grandparents in their 90s, great-grandparents.
Look at Marianne. She's on
One of our favorite people here, Marianne, is on a cruise.
But she's enjoying it.
And you know what? Now, if I'm going to get stranded someplace, forget the airport. Strand me on a cruise. Ain't had nothing under 85 degrees. And that's another. I'm glad Ron brought that up about Marianne so I could bring her in there and tell everyone she's on a cruise. I'm glad he did it because, see, Susie Q and Janet. That's all it's talking. Valerie, Myrna, where you're at, what is your weather like today? Because here, they canceled school yesterday because we were going to get a snowstorm. Yeah, we got about, I'd say 3, maybe 4 inches. If the wind picks up tonight and it blows, it's going to be a little tricky in the morning. But by the weekend, we'll probably be driving 65 and 70 on the back roads and 85 and 90 on the interstates. But the thing is, they canceled because they have what's called e-learning now. In Des Moines, it's about you got 8 inches of snow, Myrna? Myrna's a winner chicken dinner. But I looked at my daughter-in-law yesterday. She said, we don't have school tomorrow. We have e-learning from home. That's why I still got to go over to Amber's because they have a half a day over in Clifton, in Shabance and that. Then my daughter called and said there were supposed to be big meetings for the teachers afterwards. So they was letting all the kids out, but they was only going to have like a half an hour meeting. So my 3 grandkids just went over to her classroom, hung out there for the half an hour so I didn't have to go over and babysit. I'm going to tell you right now, the guy that we had as a superintendent of school, the great white father, the greatest man in Herscher history that ever lived, Kenneth Seebach. I'm telling you, we went to school if we had to walk over cars to get through the snow to get there. You better really, someone said 8 inches, you better have 8 inches in blowing snow where you can't see, or we went to school. Now to see, I love my kids here. I do. I love all the kids. But we were tougher. That's why we're chosen now. That's why we're chosen to be here. Because, guys, the journey is about to end. The experience is about to begin. Because all of you here that has the currency, or they're going to rely on the R&R money, everything that's going to change. You're here for a reason, not just to get money. Now we got to be there for the people who does not have their eyes open. I like that what you said there, Jason. You know, it's funny, Jason, you said never heard of him. Because today on Facebook, there was an article that he was the most popular of all the living presidents. Now, my question is, who is he the most popular with? It sure the heck isn't people in the United States. All these other countries that he's did everything for. And then they have this article on Facebook today too, or it might have been someplace else. Someone might have sent me this article, but it says all of these people I'm not going to mention their names, but you guys all know who I'm talking about. The one that are running scared. You know, there was a comic the other day that this one guy looked at this lady and this lady looked at this other guy, and there's like 4 of them there saying, what is he doing? What is the hat doing? He's taking all of our money that we had hid away. He's found it all. Oh my goodness, they just found all of that gold. We have nothing left. What are we going to do? Well, you're going to go to GIMO, 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 and we're going to see how much you can stretch. You're going to become the new Stretch Armstrongs. And I'm keeping this in a way. But I want to go back to the weather.
They say you're going to tie him up with 4 horses.
What?
They say you're going to tie him up with 4 horses.
Yeah. You know, when I say they're going to become the new Stretch Armstrong, me and Ron was watching a Cowboy today, and they told the guy he was going to shoot Matt Dillon. We were watching Gunsmoke. And he was going to shoot Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon was his getaway card. And the guy that was calling his bluff says, well, let me tell you this. Once you shoot Matt, what do you got? Because I got a lot more guys than you do here. So you lose your trump card. And when I mean trump card, I mean like you're playing regular cards. Okay. You lose your trump cards. We're going to come and get you, and we're not going to shoot you. We're not even going to hang you. We're going to put 4 ropes on you. One in your arm, one on the other arm, one on your leg, and one on your other leg. And we're going to have 4 guys on horses start dragging you all over. I think I'd rather have Stretch Armstrong. But when he said it, you know, me and Ron's probably seen that Matt Dillon 100 times, but that was my dad's favorite show. But I want to talk about the weather a little bit, guys, because here we go. Myrna, you said you got the weather that you had. Was it predicted? The people who answered the question, what's your weather? Was that actually predicted what you were supposed to get today? Because I know Marianne, when she, stuck it in my back about how happy she is being on her cruise. She said, we haven't had a day, Ralph, below 85 degrees. I'm sitting here and it's 10 degrees outside with winds like crazy. But see, what I'm trying to bring up, what I'm going to say now is of my opinion and Ron's opinion, but our opinions only. This is just us talking, me and him, brother to brother. And we honestly believe that they control the weather, that they're able to control the weather. Because, see, I can remember, Ron says, what the weather going to be tomorrow? I said, I don't know. I never look at it. Why not? I said, Ron, how are they going to tell us what the weather's going to be tomorrow? They can't even tell us what the weather's going to be in 5 minutes. We was going to a White Sox game one day, and we're like 4 or 5 blocks away from the ballpark. It's raining so hard you can't see 10 feet in front of you, and you do not want to be on the Dan Ryan when you can't see 10 feet in front of you. Very spooky. And the weather comes out on the radio, and they say chances of showers later today. Should be okay to get the ball game in. There shouldn't be no rain. We're about 6 blocks away from the ballpark. And I mean, it is pouring, like the old saying goes, is pouring cats and dogs. They can't get the weather right 2 minutes ahead of time. Then he'll look at me and say, well, I'm going to check the 10-day weather forecast. And I just start laughing at why. But the point I want to make is, you guys noticed they're right on now. Now, 2 things could happen. 2 things could happen. The reason they're right on. My feelings is they're controlling the weather. And in a way, I hope they can, because I sure hope they come to me and say, let's take a vote. What kind of weather would you like in Illinois year round? I don't want it as hot as Arizona in the summer, but, give me in the summer 85 so I can go out and swim and work on my physique tan, get my head all nice and brown. If it rains in the middle of the night when we're sleeping. That tip, 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 tip coming down on your roof. So you silently, it's very soothing that you can go to sleep. In the daytime, like I said, 80, 85, nighttime, maybe 65 or 70. Once a year, around Christmas, we can maybe have a week where we have a little snow, a little cold, but then we go right back to the good weather. That's my dream. Can they do it? I don't know. Now, that's one outlook of it. The other outlook is, what is the hat been saying? Mainstream media news is terrible. What if they're so scared now that the weather people are actually telling the actual weather? What if they're not making stuff up? I have a little girl that really had a crush on my son when they was just going into high school. My son was very awkward back then when it came to girls, which most boys are at that time. He didn't realize it was till it was too late. But this little girl went on, very, very beautiful little girl. They did show choir together and they hung out some, but they never dated. They become very good friends, as we did with their parents. But it was just something that she went into doing the weather. And she was good at it. She was working out of Dallas, a main station there. She had her own show. She was very good at it. And then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, she up and quit. I think she got the memo. I don't think she was part of what we know. Okay, thank you, Mike. Mike says they can. So, let's see what we got for the show tonight. I mean, can it get any better when the show's been so far? See, I'm supporting my White Sox. Some people say they're already out of the pennant run and they haven't even started spring training yet. And I say, them people, they don't know what they're talking about.
And they also said they're going to win 60-some games. I don't think they know.
PSYOP. We showed you the script, convinced you it was a movie, all to prepare you for now. It's not a movie, it's live. Enjoy the show. That's good. But I think a lot of it has been a movie because there's a lot of actors in it that people think are real. I got a big on Facebook the other day. They said something about that guy that Mama and his chocolates, or he liked to run, in the forest and run. And that guy there, they said something about him, and I told him exactly what he was. And you know what? Facebook didn't even have their people come out and correct me because they knew I was right. And afterwards, it was like 100 people stuck up for what I said and said, I've heard about that. Do you have proof? So I started sending them articles.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. It might be part of another one, but it says also, your hair color, if gray, will return to natural color. Sun gazing, anti-aging, reverse aging. Your breath controls everything. There's got to be more to that, but that's what that one said.
I didn't say that.
Margaret did.
Oh.
I'm doing the stuff she sent first. Here's a picture of a young man that his dad supposedly left us, but we know didn't, in the 60s. And then he left us in the 90s. There's a picture of him saying it's happening. Don't miss the chance for the truth. I think Margaret stays up all night and gets all this stuff. I know I woke up last night and my phone just kept going ding, ding, ding. The clock is ticking. The final stage is set. What was once hidden will be revealed. The structures of control will crumble. Those who ruled from the shadows will face the light. Mass panic, global shock. Their lives will not survive what comes next. The system reset cannot be stopped. The old world is collapsing and the new order will rise from the ashes. You were warned. Now there's no turning back. No wonder. I thought I had read everything that I got sent today, but these here that I'm reading, I'd never read. This is from Patriots 1776. What storm? Mr. President, you'll find out. My fellow Americans, the storm is on us. God bless, with a picture of a flag. I might have just did this one. Sometimes I get so many, I have a hard time keeping track of which ones were which. Yeah, I did that one. Sorry. Bear with me. I got one more here.
Yeah.
I've got a few more other than that. Maybe it's going to, okay. Q/17 followers. It's time for the whole world to know the truth. Get ready. See, when I say, guys, I really believe we're close. The reason I say it, because stop and look at everything we're going through. Everything we're going through right now, it's going to happen today. It's going to happen tomorrow. Bruce last night. Bruce was 11 minutes and some. I actually thought he had some information, but his main information was we were going to get everything today by sometime this afternoon. I didn't get it, but that doesn't mean others didn't. I haven't heard of anybody getting it, but from what I'm hearing, things are moving and we're ready to go. They're done messing with Iraq. They're done messing with the other things. And I think it's funny because we've been blaming Iraq for so long, and it's been us. Because we couldn't let it happen until Dopey or Sleepy, both of them, was out of office. We couldn't do it. On Tuesday, 11th February 2025, the following was put on Telegram by Mr. Poole and the 17th letter Jr. After midnight, this is what I've been trying to tell you guys. After midnight tonight, new travel restrictions go into effect. Stay off all airlines, all flights canceled. The internet will be shut off. The stock market crashed. Mass media gone. Mr. Poole on Telegram, Tuesday, 11 February 2025. Total lockdown in effect after midnight. The world changed. All flights remain grounded. No one in, no one out. The internet blackout has begun. The global markets have imploded. Mainstream media has disappeared. Their signals gone. Massive military movements detected. National Guard deployed in major cities. Curfew imposed. Stay inside. What's coming next will shock the world. The plan is unfolding faster than anyone expected. Stay alert. Stay ready. Our military intel contacts said they released everything for the global currency reset at 3 PDT on Tuesday, 11 February 2025 to start the shotgun release of liquidity and notifications over 72 hours for the lower levels tiers, including Tier 4B. He is not allowed to talk about caps or limitations. We will find out that at the appointments. We will all be very happy with the new rates. There will be a 90-day advance on ZIM of $500 million till structured payout payments start coming to our accounts. All non-ZIM currency exchange proceeds will be accessible immediately. In the account funds, if the account funds are put under structured payout programs, you will have up to $250 million advance till the first payout from SPP. Now, I thought that was a great reading. But if you stop and think about it, and first of all, everything I say on this show, I believe it to be true. I don't make anything up. I tell it to you like it is. The music that I played is not our music. We have no legal rights to it. We do it for entertainment purposes only. But what I just read there, they're shutting everything down after midnight tonight. Everything is going black after midnight tonight. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this after midnight tonight. And then they tell you we're going to get the 800 numbers and be able to go. If everything is shut down, how are we going to go? That to me puts a red flag up. I'm not saying it's wrong. And maybe that's what they want. They want everybody locked up in their house so the people who have the currency can go get theirs safely, because people will not be, if all that's going to be open is just the banks and the redemption centers, then okay, I can understand it. But I just wanted to put that point in there about my viewpoint. Breaking, Tier 4B group activated military coup underway. Martial law imminent, and the Big G, Earth Alliance, and White Hats prepare for quantum financial system to wipe out the deep state. The gloves are off, and the Tier 4B internet group is active, signaling SEIS seismic shift that will shake the world to its core. This isn't just a platform. It is the start of a movement for the financial freedom and sovereignty. The quantum financial system is now in place, safeguard against the corrupted financial system. This moment isn't for questioning. It's for a calm, for patriots ready to reclaim control while the masses sleeps. The QFS laying the foundation for the new awakening. Special beds technology is flipping the medical industry complex on its head. Imagine a world where chronic diseases are obliterated in minutes, disabilities reverse, and terminal illnesses disappear. Despite the elite's suppression efforts, quantum healing is taking root, reshaping healthcare for Patriots. Now, before I read the rest of this, I want to say I read an article yesterday about the children. And what I'm hearing with the children on these beds is unbelievable what it's doing for these kids. It is literally taking and suppressing their memories of what they went through, and they're normal children again. They want to have their mom and their dad, their family. They want to be loved. They want to have Christmas. And to me, guys, give glory to God, because that to me means the world. Project Odom is primed, and the emergency broadcast system, EBS, is ready to strike at the deep state propaganda machine. When communications go dark, it won't just be tech. It's a cultural reset aimed at ripping control from the puppet masters who have manipulated global perception. The military strikes back, the deep state's reign of shadow control ending. Starlink, with its worldwide satellite network, stands ready to blast the EBS signal and the final showdown. Patriots are mobilized, and the deep state has nowhere to hide. Melania silent signals. Patriots recognized her zebra pattern outfit at Madison Square Garden as more than a fashion. It was a code, an undeniable signal that the next phase is locked and loaded. The hat return is beyond election. The 2020 election was a travesty, and the Q plan is clear. The hat return is inevitable, or whatever, with or without the old process. Early voting in 2024 is a step towards correcting the sham of 2020, restoring legitimate government under the hat. Project Phoenix, where the Big N, Big G alliance and Starlink Project Phoenix is on the horizon. This union, led by the hat and Elon, heralds the 10 days of darkness and paves the way for a new world for the elite control. As the quantum financial system rolls out, the White Hat's army stands ready, fortified by bases worldwide. Every move is a step towards a final purge of the guilty, and no one escapes. Stand ready and trust the plan. The great awakening is upon us. What I want to say here is, you look, guys, we're going to move to a world where, think of the Jetsons, because that's maybe not exactly like that, but we're going to have a lot of that. Think of the fact that you're free. Think of the fact that you're going to get on these beds. And I talked about someone the other day. She went by someone. Now she's going by someone else. And when she did a show the other day, she actually went as a man. She tried to scare everybody. I mean, what she said in this, I'm not even going to touch it. If you want to believe it, you believe it. What? Ron said she was pretty good today. I'm done. If someone sends me something and says, you got to watch this, I'll watch it. But when she pretended to be a man the other day, when she did all of this other stuff, I was just totally, this lady cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's all I can say. But just think of what it's going to be like to get up in the morning and you're ready to roll out of bed. You don't want to roll over. You want to roll out because you want to get as much into the day as you can. You're not going to have aches and pains. You're not going to have you're not going to have aches and pains. You're not going to have anything like that. You're just going to be ready to face the world. As they say, boy meets world. How's it going to feel when you get on that bed? And I was talking to Ron because, we have 3 different type of beds. The first one, makes you feel a little bit better. You get off of it. But then when you get on that second one, you get fixed completely. Now, I've heard when you get fixed completely, you're going to feel like you're 30, 40 years younger. So maybe just then, if everything is fixed, you might not want to get on that other bed. As I told Ron, you might want to wait another 30, 35 years before you get on that regression bed. If you're feeling great, if everything is going good, and I still believe, and I'm going to push for this, guys, this is one of the things with the money that I'm going to be allotting for these beds to get places everywhere where we can go. I believe we go to a doctor at our age, Myrna, Diane, everyone who's our age. And I know you ladies are younger than me. A lot younger than Ron. Not really. But anyway, I know you ladies, maybe you don't go to the doctor. But, you know, when I go to the doctor, he always says, well, you're 70 years old now, Ralph. I want to see you in 6 months. I want to see you in 6 months. Every time I go, he wants to see me in 6 months. So if it's going to be like that, let's face it, once everybody in the world gets on these things, once everybody is healthy, but what happens if they get something wrong? So why not, just like your car, just like with everything, you still go in every 6 months and you get checked out. If you don't, it's on you. What's it going to take? You're going to go in there. You're going to get in bed number one. They're going to do. 6 minutes later, you're going to get out and they're going to say you're absolutely good. You don't need no oil change today, and everything else is working good. Go home. They might say, well, you know what? We've seen this. We'd like to put you in this bed and correct it. So you're in there maybe another half an hour, and you leave. You're good to go for another 100,000 miles. That's what my feelings is. Maybe I'm the one that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. Guys, I've been talking to a lot of people the last few days. And in our group, we have a lot of people who need these beds. A lot of people. I'm not going to mention names because people have asked me if I could kind of just pray for them. So I'm going to say a quick prayer right now, but I'm going to ask each and every one of you as you're sitting around, maybe not doing it something one day, if you're going to say a prayer every day, say a prayer for our family here. Your family, our whole family here in this group, because there's so many that really, I need them. Ron needs them. Ron needs it a little bit more than I need it, so I would gladly give up my spot to go, let him go first if I can. But that's how we are. We need it. So, dear Lord, as we come into here today, please look after everyone in our group, all the children, 100% of the children, but everyone, Lord, everyone in our family here, a Patriot 5 and Patriot 6, and all of their families. And the people who need your help, Lord, look after all of them as we pray to you, as we come to you and pray to you through our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. You know, when you get talking to people, guys, and I've talked to a lot of people recently, you understand they try to be quiet at first, but then when they start to trust you, they open up more about things. And I talked to a lady the other day, and she was so happy. She was really ecstatic because her husband decided to go and actually get checked out, and I'm glad. Because I know I was the same way. Ron was the same way. Me and Ron, both of us almost died the last couple times that we ended up going to the hospital. I am speaking in my opinion. I've said, Gary, I've already said 3 or 4 times tonight. What I'm saying here is things I'm getting, but when I also talk and give opinions, they're my opinions and my opinions only, but I believe them to be true. So yeah, thank you for what you said, but I thought I was speaking in my opinions. I'm sorry, but when I see someone saying things that is hurting people, then I'm going to speak up and really give my opinion. And I felt that one video was meant to hurt people. But that's a story for another day. But thank you. Let me see if I can pull Ron up here. And why are you sending? I don't know which one to do.
Either one.
That's the wrong one.
one's video's good, the other one's good.
Let's see what we have here. Could immortality be humanity's future? Scientists are getting closer. What if aging was no longer inevitable? While humans aren't immortal yet, scientists are making groundbreaking strides in longevity research. Nature has already unlocked the secret cures creatures like the immortal jellyfish, the planetarium flatworm, regenerate, endlessly defying time itself. Now researchers are unlocking the science behind these phenomena, studying stem cells, telomeres, and gene therapy to slow or even reverse aging. Advances in cellular rejuvenation and DNA repair suggest a future where age-related decline could be a thing of the past. Could we extend human life indefinitely? Imagine a world growing older is a choice, not a fate, where diseases linked to aging are eradicated and the human body regenerates like never before. The race for immortality is accelerating. Could we be on the verge of rewriting the human life? Well, that come from Telegram on medbed technology. Since we've been talking about med beds for special beds for so long, I guess, yeah, we could say that that's a very good possibility. February 16th, the expected timeline to have access to the special beds on the fact the world is about to RV. How many other signs we're seeing from all the intel of the dinar going to the Forex, to other intel drops like the JFK, EPI, and IRS files, etc., that are going to be dropped next week. What I'm going to tell everyone here, go on Telegram and join that MedBed site. Having a bad night, but it's worth it. It really is. You get a lot of good information because there's nothing better to be talking to somebody about something like that. And when they said, "Well, do you have any proof?" and you just go to that site and it's all about it. How much more proof do you need? Got one more thing here, and then we're going to call it a night. Ooh. Breaking, Tier 4B internet group activated. You know what? I've already read this. I've already read that earlier. I'm not going to get into Judy tonight. I do suggest that you get the other part, the watching part, and watch it. It's all over the internet. Ron has it in a lot of different spots for our group. But I want to keep it under an hour, guys, and we're at 58, 55. And what I was just going to read, I'd already read it earlier. It was just in a different form. So I thank everyone for coming out tonight. And I thank everybody for their opinions. They're talking over here. I'm glad I was able to get the chat room up and going. And right now, as we're getting ready to say goodnight, we have 141 people. And I thank each and every one of you for supporting Patriot 5 and Patriot 6. And we will talk to you later. Good night. God bless. And we love you all.